this is called like an XY or a scatter plot. And what I would do is do every different bond of every different bond rating. And the different bond ratings I would represent as different colors. So what you get is, since different bond ratings affect the yield, the riskier bonds get a higher yield. What you get when you do this with all the bonds is a range. If you represent each bond rating with a color, you get a rainbow pattern, right? So the different color bands represent different bond ratings. And if there's outliers, we can see colored spots that are out of place. They're in the wrong band, right? We can see some isolated colored spots, just like on this graph. You can see some dots that are above or below the rest of them. There's a couple things we can do to if we see those outliers, we can try to dig into things a little bit and validate the model. Now, this graph is the same concept of what I'm talking about, except there's only one bond rating. So, sadly, there's only one color on the graph today. But the issue is that unlike a treasury, it's not a line. It's this fuzzy band that we see up here, and we want to use observable input. Remember, so is a single A rated bond observable? Well, the answer is yes. Sort of, right? What causes the width of this? Well, single A covers a range of credit risk, right? So there are sub ratings, right? They could be a bond could be rated A1, A2, or A3, or different rating agency, A plus or A minus, right? There's also other risks besides the duration and the credit rating that we've talked about already. Now, you line challengers out there, you can't just take a pen and connect the dots along the top of the curve. This is GAAP now. The process is subject to controls, and it needs to be consistent each quarter and each reporting period. We could make a justification for using something closer to the top of the range I've mentioned if there's a liability characteristic like liquidity. The key words we want to remember in the guidance are just reliable information and observable input.